Hello, Suns fans. I am Rich Rubin. We are back with Suns latest. Let's get right to it. I want to start with the latest rumor, which I just found out early this morning. Suns interested in free agent guard Gary Payton II. So this guy has showed out with limited offensive skills. Phenomenal defender, and I don't know if he's been on an all-defensive team. He's that kind of defender. He's a Pat Beverly dog defender, and always good energy. And he's played a good role for the teams he's been on. But he is not a point guard. And he's not a shooting guard. He's just a defensive player. So I don't know if this is the right fit. I don't think so. I think the Suns really do need to focus on what they have and focus more on Colin Gillespie, and we're going to get to him in a bit, and definitely on the next Suns latest. I would like another defensive player. I don't think we need another guard. But that was the latest rumor that I heard. Also, we talked about this on the last Suns latest. Ben Simmons can run point. There are rumors the Suns spoke with his camp. Remember, rumors, don't freak out. I know Ben Simmons is really polarizing for a lot of people, but nobody thinks that's happening. And we got a comment last time. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. It was about he'd rather have Ben Simmons than Jonathan Kuminga because we don't need a Kuminga. Let's put a pin in that, get back to that, the trade deadline. God, if Ben Simmons could get it together. I just salivate over a talent like that, but I think he's washed. I think it's done, and I don't think he's getting over that injury. Josh Giddey can run point. And, last one, I call Josh Giddey 7 feet tall. I get him mixed up with the dude on Oklahoma, and I can't remember the guy on Oklahoma's name. That's the kind of day it's been. Josh Giddey is 6'8". I stand corrected. I'm sorry about that. That being said, Giddey is young. 100% point guard instincts at 6'8". The Bulls love to trade away good players. It's more of a trade deadline conversation. In fact, all of the rumors as far as bringing in anybody at this point, they're all trade deadline things. And let's at least see what the Suns do in the preseason in the first few months of the season with what they have. Colin Gillespie right now is the Suns point guard, and we'll be talking about him in the next Suns latest. But yeah, so those are the latest rumors I got for what's going on with the Suns right now. All right, so the big thing going on right now, and we keep bringing it up because it's important, but Devin Booker just signed an extension, even though he had years left on his contract. We're getting close to the first player to make $1 million a game. SGA and Booker, 70 to 72 million, I think. Oh my God, that's so very close to $1 million a game for 82 games. Just the numbers are just staggering. It is incredible what these guys make. And I think at the end of the day, it's important to remember that it's a whole other stratosphere, and it's just a game, and it's just sports. So let's be real for 1, 2, 3 seconds. All right, now back to the insanity. Devin Booker is 28 years old, and he's in his prime. He's been in his prime. I thought he hit his prime like 3 years ago when he was first team All-NBA, and the Suns had the best record in the league. But there are shortcomings with Booker. He's never going to develop into an amazing defender. He's an adequate defender. He can get you a steal. He was surprisingly higher than adequate as a point guard. It's just you don't want somebody like Devin Booker playing point. Don't take the energy away from Booker when he can get you 30 a game. He can be a top 5 scorer in the league for years, like a Tracy McGrady type. Not like him, but as far as consistent scoring in the 30s and the high 20s, yeah, Devin Booker is that good offensively. Why would you make him do anything else? Suns need to do the right thing and let Book be Book. You have a once-in-a-lifetime scorer. Name the last guy who could score the way Booker does for the Suns. I'm not even going to wait. You think about it while I keep talking. Booker needs the green light like he had with Coach Monty Williams. He was the whole offense. It ran through him. It was set up for him. And it worked. They got to the finals. They had the best record the next year. Don't talk to me about getting ousted in the playoffs. That's a whole other conversation. What I am saying is Devin Booker is a scorer and a shooter, first and foremost. Let him be this guy. You have Booker on your team, arguably a top 3 shooting guard in the entire league still, even though last year, nowhere washier for the Suns. But he still has the potential and the power to do that. So let him do that. And I have a feeling that that is exactly what Coach Ott and the powers that be are going to let happen this year. So let's bitch about this maybe one last time. You have Devin Booker. The Suns win 64 games. You bring in Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. You get rid of the guy that's setting him up at least 20% of the time in Chris Paul. And we've gone over this before. It was time for Chris Paul to go or at least have a have less of a role because he kept breaking down. But what a fustercluck in Booker's mind. It's like your first team All-NBA. All right, well, here's Kevin Durant. Well, your first team All-NBA. All right, well, here's Bradley Beal. Well, what about the guy that passes to me? No, he's gone. I mean, look, yes, I know they made good with the extension, and Booker's the man. I'm bitching about stuff that shouldn't need to be bitched about anymore, but I just want to drive that nail home because it's incredibly important that Booker is not asked to play point guard for a second this coming season. Just don't do it. Just don't get it in his head. Just keep it out of his mind. And when he does, he's a decent facilitator. I don't not want Booker to pass the ball. I just don't want that to be his thing. I don't want to hear point Book. This is the last time I'm going to say point Book. All right? Thank you. My bad. I'm not going to do that anymore. But yeah, but deferring to Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal when Booker was healthy, and it's very frustrating. And I mentioned this in the last Suns Daily. The Suns do this every now and then. And it's the whole, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They did this with Walter Davis, one of the greatest Suns ever. Suns leading scorer in Suns history up until last season, surpassed by who? Devin Booker. Walter Davis was a 6-time All-Star, 2-time All-Pro, NBA Rookie of the Year, 20-point scorer, team leader, incredible guy, loved by everybody. They move him to guard from small forward. Oh, I remember this. When they moved him to guard, he got voted into the All-Star game by the fans as a small forward. Don't do this to Book. There's no excuse. So now here's the only issue going into the season other than everything I've just said as far as not letting Booker be Booker. They got Jaylen Green, and they plan to start him and Green. Green's not a point guard. So another shooting guard. I'm pretty sure, and Green was the leading scorer for a really good Houston Rockets team last year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be made pretty clear to Jaylen Green, who I like, and I see a lot of upside with him, by Coach Ott and everybody else on the team, that you will defer to Devin Booker the way he had to defer to Kevin Durant. He's the old veteran now, even though he's still in his prime. This is going to be Book's team. We're going to see what kind of leader Book is this year. And he can be a vocal leader if allowed to, but he's such a good guy and he's such a good team player that he would defer to somebody like Kevin Durant and share the ball with Bradley Beal when he really didn't have to. Jimmy Buckets of the Warriors was asked, and I think this was in jest. I saw it on Instagram by a friend. I don't know. I saw it. I don't know how legit it is, but his friend goes, Buckets, you and Booker go one-on-one to 11. What would the score be? And Jimmy Butler says, Devin Booker wins 11-0. And then goes continue to making salsa or whatever the hell he was doing. I think that's just a fun thing to think about. Jimmy Butler, tough as nails, one of the best defenders you'll ever see. And that's what he says about Devin Booker. It didn't look like he said it in jest. It looked like he was, yeah, that guy can score on me anytime he wants. Devin Booker can be a top 5 scorer and All-NBA if he can become Devin Booker again. What are your thoughts? I'd really like to know. Let me know in the comments. I love it when y'all comment, so thank you very much for that. Speaking of comments, this is kind of fun. Now, this is one of those comments where it's kind of word for word what I had said about Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal 2 Suns latest ago, but it's important to talk about. So Curious Mind 2525 in the comment section says, going on the Kuminga rumors and the Suns shopping Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. This is from Curious Mind 2525. Of course the Suns will shop Allen or O'Neal. Anyone not named Booker can be had for the right price. Suns will not trade anyone unless they get an equitable return. These two may be more valuable at trade deadline than now anyway. Owner Matt Ishbia has said he will not approve new players that do not fit his idea of the new culture identity of hustle, defense, team building, etc. I have never confused Kuminga's effort for a hustling type player, willing to play hard on defense. At least Allen and O'Neal fit that role, end quote. That's pretty concise and good thinking about those two. So, yeah, we covered the Allen and O'Neal. Those guys are going to be up for trade the whole season. I think they know it. It's just so out there at this point. And they're veterans, and they know what's going on. And these are guys that have bumped around a few times. So it's not like they're going to lead a team anywhere. But these are good glue guys, and I love their attitude. And I really like Grayson Allen, and I'm so surprised that I did. Anyone not named Booker can be had for the right price. I don't think they're letting go of Jaylen Green anytime soon. I've been wrong before. We all have. We don't know because we're not in the office talking about this stuff. Matt Ishbia said he will not approve new players that do not fit his idea of new culture identity of hustle, defense, team building. Yeah, I'm sure Ishbia says that, but if Ishbia sees a way to get a superstar on the team, he'll do it. He's already proven that he'll do it. Right now, it looks like he's, okay, all right, kind of backing off and going to let the new culture uh, amass and see how it's going to be with the new coach and a whole new crew of players. You know, the win now attitude is gone. And that, at the very least, is something to sort of look forward to. With the Beal stretch, we're going to be hurting as far as who we can pay. This is interesting. I have never confused Kuminga's effort for a hustling type player, willing to play hard on defense. He's 22 years old. He hasn't had to really do a lot of hustling when you're on a team like the Warriors. We don't know what kind of player he is. We see bursts of talent. I mentioned in the last Suns latest, when Steph was injured and Kuminga stepped in, no question he can lead your team in scoring. Are they empty buckets? Is he just a stat patter? I don't know. Nobody really knows enough about Kuminga because he hasn't really assimilated to playing in a team situation, and that is why when Steph came back, they tried to mesh him and Steph, and he would look off Steph, or he would, no, I got this. And it's like, no, you got Steph Curry on your team. Don't do that. So he's not getting on the court as much as he should. So, and then at least Allen and O'Neal fit that role. Yeah, but do they win you games? That's really the only question I got. So Curious Mind 2525 also paid Suns Latest a nice compliment and subscribe. So hey, thank you very much for that. Subscribe all you want or don't. Comment all you want or don't. And I don't care what you say in the comments. I mean, I really don't. It's nothing personal. I don't take anything personally. This ain't about me. This ain't about you. This is about the Suns, Suns Latest, and what the Suns can do to get back to being the Suns team that we love. All right, moving on to the Suns legend of the day. So like Suns legend Joe Prosky, the trainer, the legendary trainer of the Suns from a few Suns Latest ago, not all Suns legends of the day are going to be players. And as we did with Suns legendary trainer Joe Prosky, how about a guy who was so unique and legendary that he wasn't a player, he wasn't even a head coach for the Suns? Today's Suns legend of the day is the best assistant coach the Suns ever had, Al Bianki or Al Bianchi. And I have been looking all over the interwebs trying to find out how to say his last name. What I remember is his name was Al Bianchi. That's how I remembered as a kid. So I'm going to call him Al Bianchi. So he was the living embodiment of basketball. And like Gail Goodrich, you just don't hear his name a lot. And it's not cool with me that Al Bianchi isn't mentioned as one of the great legendary people of not just the NBA, but basketball in general. This guy is 6 degrees of separation to everything, going all the way back to the ABA and the NBA. He did as much to help. He's one of the low-key architects of the modern game. So he was a player, coach, GM, consultant, and scout. All-American honorable mention as a player at Bowling Green in 54. In 56, he played for the Syracuse Nationals of the NBA. Oh my God, that's a ways back. Then he moved with the team to Philly when it became the 76ers. In the 63-64 season, he was also one of the last players. You want to talk old school. Al Bianchi is one of the last players to use the two-hand set shot. Look up set shot on YouTube. It'll blow your mind. But there were pros using that, and he was one of the last ones. After his playing career, the Bulls invited him to camp. He said, screw it, I don't really want to play anymore. He retired. He became an assistant for the Bulls for one season. And then in 67, when Seattle, the year before the Suns, was offered an expansion team, the Supersonics, Al Bianchi was their head coach. Their first head coach of the Seattle Supersonics was Al Bianchi. Coached them for 2 seasons. He then became coach and GM of the Washington Caps, Virginia Squires of the old ABA from 69 to 75. In 71, he won ABA Coach of the Year. He got the Squires to the Eastern Division Championship of the ABA with a 55-29 record, lost the title. Bianchi was the very first professional coach of Dr. J, and they were good friends forever. Still, Bianchi did pass away, but good friends for as long as Bianchi was alive. Think about that. First coach of the Sonics, first pro coach of Dr. J. In 76, this is when it gets good. He re-entered the NBA as the assistant to Coach John McLeod for the Suns, top-rated assistant from 76 to 87. In that time, the first year Bianchi gets there, the Suns go to their very first finals, and they weren't even a 10-year-old franchise. He returned to the Suns. He moved on to the front office as general manager for the New York Knicks from 87 to 91, and returned to the Suns in 91 as a college scout. So in 2004, he became a consultant scout for the Warriors, stayed through the 08-09 season. In September 2007, he was inducted into the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame as a player, and by the New York City Athletic Club. He was inducted into the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame at the 11th annual ceremony on May 21st, 2016 in Columbus. So, this is what Al Bianki became legendary for. Al was known for getting in refs' faces, and all 12,660 at Vets Memorial Coliseum, otherwise known as the Madhouse on McDowell, named by another former Suns legend, named by another Suns legend of the day, who we're going to get to as well. Al would say the funniest things and the most insulting things to referees. And after a few years, when you saw Bianki get up off the bench, you'd get quiet. The whole crowd would get quiet because they wanted to hear what he would say, and it was such a small venue. So, and his stringing together of curse words was also quite legendary. Should have been on SNL. There were a whole lot of times where John McLeod had to get up off the bench, hold back his assistant coach. He had the head coach had to drop everything, grab his assistant coach, hold him back from getting the technical, and also suppress laughter because of the funny things Bianki said. But Al Bianki was the coolest dude, Riley before Riley. Always had impeccably dressed or deliberately ridiculously dressed. Really cool, beautiful head of hair, and just stylish and tall, and just like he almost looked like a mob boss, but like the friendly mob boss, the one who will kill you, but he'll apologize before he had to do it. His beautiful wife Bonnie worked at the Playboy Club, and he greeted anyone in Phoenix who recognized him like an old friend, stopped what he was doing, and he would talk to you. Now, my favorite thing about Al Bianki, 76 NBA Finals. Now, this one, there's so many stupid details to this one, but it's really important to get it right. So, the Suns' first time in the Finals, famous screw-up by a famous moron ref and powerful ref named Richie Powers. Suns fans, old school Suns fans, hear the name Richie Powers, and they get pissed, like I'm getting right now. Former Sun, now Celtic, Paul Silas, calls for a timeout right in front of Powers. He does this to the ref in front of his face. Richie Powers goes like this. Nope, it's fine. You got your timeout. The problem was the Celtics didn't have a timeout. If you call a timeout to the ref and you don't have a timeout, that's an automatic technical foul. Richie Powers blew it off. He said, nah, it's okay. It's all right. Don't have to do it like that. Celtics didn't have the timeout. Powers didn't call the tech. It would have changed the game. It would have changed the game. Drives me nuts. Because after the timeout, Celtics get the ball back. If it wasn't that, Suns would have gotten an extra shot. And then Paul Wessel would have taken the. See, I can't even think. I'm so mad about this stuff. So, and then remember, this is mid-'70s Boston Garden. Fans ran on the court in Boston Garden all the time. You could just see them like this, and you could see the cops like, let them go. I don't know what to do about it. This happened all the time in Boston Garden. So one fan gets into a fight with Richie Powers after this call. Obviously a Suns fan. Right on, man. Whoever you are, you're a hero. You're a legend to me. And you can see in the video Al Bianki and John McLeod and Suns players Curtis Perry and John Wetzel pulling this guy off of Richie Powers because he's getting pummeled. The Suns helped Richie Powers, who just almost screwed them out of a championship. So we're going to do a full Suns Daily rundown on this game. The whole thing, the whole Suns Daily is just going to be about, it might just be about Game 5. But this is the turning point in Game 5. But if things had gone right, if Powers hadn't screwed up, the Suns win that Game 5. They lost it in triple overtime, greatest game ever played, and they would have gone back to Phoenix up 3-2. The Celtics won the first 2 in Boston. The Suns won the second 2 in Phoenix, and they had this game in Boston. They had it. It was theirs. Powers screwed it up. The Suns would have gone back to Phoenix up 3-2, all the momentum in the world and all the confidence in the world. And the Celtics were looking old and tired. They would have gotten their first title. So what does this have to do with Al Bianki? After all that, he didn't say a word to Richie Powers. But he did have a pal in Phoenix who was a jeweler named Kenny Berman, my bad. Al asked Kenny to make him a ring with a turquoise stone that says Phoenix Suns, 1975-76 NBA champs. And on the inside of the ring, there is an inscription that says, F you, Richie Powers. There will never be another Al Bianki. He was cool, and he had a great sense of humor. I got to go deep sea fishing with Al, Bonnie, and son Luke. Just a random thing. I was in San Diego for the summer. My grandpa had a friend who was very good friends with Al Bianki, and I'm on the boat. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the Suns assistant coach. Coolest guy in the world. Helped me and Luke bait our hooks and get a couple of fish. It was really fun. So I did get to meet him. And I saw him out in Phoenix every now and then. My family, we'd always wave. And he goes, hey, hi, guys. Coolest guy ever. He was a friend of my Al Bianki was way cool. Al Bianki is your Suns legend of the day, passed away in Phoenix in 2019. Thank you for tuning in to Suns Latest. I'm Rich Rubin. We're going to do this again real soon, and we are going to talk a lot about Colin Gillespie and the point guard situation. All right, thanks for tuning in. See ya. Bye.